So we are driving past the convention center now. Traffic is pretty much a nightmare. We're just trying to find a place to park. It's right there, but we can't park anywhere just yet. So this is interesting. We're definitely in the right spot though. We made it to the expo and it looks pretty busy here. Definitely the parking lot is definitely busy. But yeah, gonna take a look at the expo, see what they have inside. It seems pretty vacant in this area. This is the packet pickup area. Not a lot of lines for the Dolphin Challenge, which is what Jessie and I are gonna be doing.
Alright, we're doing the Dolphin Challenge also?
Yes.
For the 8K.
Okay, great, thank you.
For the half, you are for round one. Okay.
Perfect.
Like waiting for Jeopardy.
Okay, so I am bib 16848 for the 8K and 11566 for the half marathon. This one says the Dolphin Challenge on there, and this one just says the 8K. Bib secured. Perfect, thank you so much. Have a good one. All right, just wrapped up in the expo. I feel like these expos are definitely pretty hectic. There's a lot of people walking around, just kind of aimlessly walking around, which is cool. I get it, it's an expo, but it's not for me. I kind of want to see some things, walk around a little bit, get out of there, get my bib and everything like that. But yeah, now we're gonna probably get something to eat somewhere, maybe at the hotel, maybe somewhere else in the area. I'm not 100% sure. It's TBD at the moment. Yeah, I grabbed a couple things also. Yeah, actually it's really just a shirt, but I don't know, it looks nice. So we're taking a trip to a grocery store in the area to get some essential stuff. I mean, most of the stuff we brought just because we were able to bring it. But yeah, I'm gonna check out the local grocery store and pick up a couple extra things. So the local grocery store around here is called Harris Teeter. I've never been to one of these before. This will be quite an experience. So we picked up some couple essentials, and we're actually reusing our bag from the expo. But it's just a regular grocery store, nothing too crazy, just a funny name. But yeah, we're gonna head back to the hotel and get some food in our system because we really do need that, and got to get that carb loading going. So we wanted to check out the finish line area. We see this huge sculpture guy over here, which is kind of cool. Seeing that, and the finish line is right down there. Hopefully it won't be this kind of weather on race day. I don't think it will be. Definitely it'll be windy, but I don't think it'll be it's like misty right now. So, whew. On Saturday morning, Jessie and I set out to run the 8K, which is part of the Dolphin Challenge. I was using this as a shakeout run for the half marathon tomorrow. Now, the one thing about this race is that a lot of people either dress up or wear a lot of green. I, on the other hand, decided to wear purple for some unknown reason. Even though the weather wasn't necessarily the best, there was definitely good vibes all around. There was cloudy skies and a mist in the air. It was also rather windy, which seemed to be something very common the whole weekend. For the most part for this race, I feel like we started on time. So Jessie and I just wrapped up that 8K, got showered up, and we're heading to a local coffee shop that's like right around the corner, just to get some coffee in our system. But other than that, I feel like we're just going to chill for the rest of the day. I'm not 100% sure if we have anything else planned, but yeah, it was a great race. 8K was fun. I'm hoping for the same kind of energy tomorrow for the half, but there were definitely some dead zones in the area. So let's see what's going to happen. I mean, it's a flat course. It's actually a lot of fun to run, so there's that. Now, this coffee shop was right around the corner from our hotel, which was actually kind of nice. I know they had a couple of vegan options available, but we weren't necessarily there to get food. Plus, we also needed to continue our carbo loading session. After we had gotten our coffee, we were pretty much in for the rest of the day. For lunch, we actually ended up making our own elbow macaroni, and we just tossed it into a crock pot. We picked up some Italian dressing at the grocery store and decided to make ourselves our own pasta salad. We wanted to make sure we kept everything nice and simple because we knew we had a race the next morning. We also brought some fruit juice with us as well, which has plenty of carbs in there. Just trying to find other ways to get carbs in to top off our glycogen stores for the next day. Believe it or not, it was actually really nice just kind of hanging out in the hotel room and just looking out the window at the ocean. We couldn't see much, but it was still better than nothing. So no matter how many times I've run a race and try to put a bib on, the most difficult part is putting on the bib straight and not having it pierce through the back portion of the actual singlet. That is the hardest thing to do, but got it done. For dinner, we had the same macaroni, but this time we actually added in our own pesto that we brought from home. Once again, keeping everything nice and simple, and plus we didn't have to travel anywhere to get food. All right, so we are settling in for the night, pretty much. Currently watching some stuff on TV. Just watched Fast and Furious. It would not be a race weekend without watching a Fast and the Furious movie. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. I have some massage gunning I need to do. I'm gonna do a little bit of that. Do some little mobility, some stretching, and yeah, it's called night. It's almost 8:30, I think. It's almost 8 o'clock now. So yeah, just gonna close up shop and then get some sleep, hopefully, and see you in the morning for race day. It is a little before 6. Getting breakfast going. Have oatmeal in a cup. I brought some peanut butter and some syrup to throw in here. Yeah, I'm gonna toss this down my mouth and get my stretches going and everything like that. Apparently there's no news on right now. There's no local news, which is really weird, but yeah, just gonna watch some random things on TV, get some stretches in until it's time to go. All right, so Jessie and I are heading to the starting line now. It's a little bit of a walk to get to the start. It's definitely windy in one direction. It's the tailwind. So when we're finishing this race, pretty sure the last like 5K is going to be all in a headwind. Not looking forward to that. But yeah, it does feel kind of warmish out here. We're moving, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how this day is going to turn out. It's a training run today, so I'm thankful for that. And yeah, just putting some miles in, having fun. Now, I knew going into this race, it wasn't necessarily going to be a PR attempt, but rather a training run. And two of the main reasons were, one, I was testing out a new pair of shoes, and two, I wasn't quite sure exactly how my shin was going to hold up. As you may know, I've been actually dealing with some shin splint issues, and I don't want that to flare up whatsoever. Plus, I wanted to think about long-term goals. I'm not training for a PR at the half marathon, but rather a PR in the marathon. So I really had to play this smart and not go full send. After I had dropped Jessie off at her corral, I had to make a beeline to my corral because it was like 2 blocks away. And also, I was running a little bit behind when it comes to getting my warm-ups in and all of that. And seeing as though that most of my warm-ups take about 20 minutes, I wanted to make sure I had enough time to get them in. 2025 Shamrock Half Marathon and Marathon. Let's get after it. 5K. $10K in. Wind's picking up a little bit. Feeling good still. 15K. Almost done. Oh, that was fun. Woo, boy. Done. Woo. Shamrock Half Marathon done. Ooh, that was fun. A bit windy, but fun. Ooh, a hat? Yeah, I'll take a hat. Ooh, awesome. Cool, thank you. All kinds of goodies. What is that? Towels. I'll take a towel. Oh, awesome. Come on, Jess! Woo! Almost there! So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Shamrock Half Marathon, and when it breaks down to splits and how I felt during the race and everything like that, there were certain spots that we weren't really necessarily allowed to record because we were on like a naval base or anything like that. So I opted to not record during that time period. But yeah, so I want to go into a little bit about the splits. So I was talking to my coach a little bit, and we had talked about race day strategy, which we always do. And this specific race, we wanted to make sure we stayed somewhat smart. And she had originally told me to do like easy paces in the beginning and then slowly get into like marathon effort and then see whatever I have left in the tank, like the last couple of miles, at least like the last 5K or so. I kind of wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. So I decided to go into it with the first 2 miles being at about a 6:45 minute pace. And I feel like I did that really well. The first mile came in at 6:46. Second mile came in 6:42, so I was right on when it comes to paces for that specific one. Then I wanted to crank it down to marathon pace. So in doing this, I wanted to make sure I felt somewhat comfortable at marathon pace during this specific race, because if I can't run marathon pace for a longer period of time, then I feel like I'm not 100% ready to run the marathon at marathon pace. So my marathon pace is about 6:35 or lower. So I wanted to make sure I stayed somewhat around that range, at least specifically for the beginning portion of this race. But towards the back end of the mileage, I wanted to kind of like kick it up a little bit, and get the paces going a little bit faster. So for this specific time period, mile 3, I kind of like went a little too hot, but it was at 6:31. But then I kind of evened out a little bit. It was 6:35, then 6:31, then 6:34, 33. So I was right around that range when it comes to hitting my actual target pace for marathon effort. And I felt like I was flying. I felt like the whole race, I was pretty much moving effortlessly. And I think that kind of has something to do with either my training. I know it has a lot to do with my training, but the shoes I was wearing also. The shoes just kind of moved effortlessly. I feel like they weren't even there at all. I had enough pop in my step, which is good. And I feel like it actually worked really well for me. And those shoes, they're definitely something else. But when it comes to the back end of this specific race, the last like 5K of this race, we were pretty much like hitting a headwind like the whole time. And I knew this was gonna be a little bit of a challenge for me going into this race, because I feel like the headwind is always a challenge no matter what. You're pretty much just battling that the whole time period. Yeah, my main focus for that specific time period for the last 5K was to run at half marathon pace, or at least a little bit faster than that, because I wanted to make this more of like a fast finish long run, but also coming off of a marathon paced effort. So it was going to be a little bit of a challenge for me no matter what, getting into that kind of zone. And believe it or not, I felt really good getting to that specific pace. At mile 10, I was at 6:29, so I was already getting closer to that time period. Then I got down to 6:24 on mile 11, then 6:15 on mile 12, and then 6:08 the last mile, and then I hit a 5:55 the last point too, which I feel like that's, you know, you're putting everything out there anyways. I felt really good during that time period, and this is actually the first time I actually negative split a race. I've never done that before. I negative split a race and it was kind of like unintentional, and I felt really good during this time period. And I think that, again, I think my training's going in the right direction. I feel like the shoes definitely helped. I feel like also too, this is pretty much like a flat course anyway, so I feel like that kind of helped out a little bit, but at least I know where I stand when it comes to my training and going forward, how I'm going to be feeling at marathon effort. That was the whole point of this specific race, is pretty much to see how my legs would feel at marathon pace, but a longer duration. Normally when I do long distances, like long runs, when like on a weekend or so, I feel like I max out at maybe like 8 miles, maybe 7 miles at marathon pace. This specific race, I did about like 12 miles at marathon pace, maybe 11 at marathon pace or faster. So, but I feel like this is actually a good turning point for me when it comes to marathon effort, because at least I know I'm going in the right direction, and I feel like going forward, this is like a huge confidence boost for me, especially going into London. And I feel like with the weeks that we have left going forward, I think we have about like 6 or 7 weeks or so until London. I feel like I'm in a good spot. There's a lot more training to go, but I feel like this is actually a good race to see exactly how my legs felt with marathon effort for a longer duration. I know it was only a half marathon. I know I could have actually gone faster if I wanted to, but again, that was not necessarily the point of this specific race. The point was to see how my legs would handle going at marathon effort, and then also cranking up the speed the last 5K. And I feel like I did that. I was talking to my coach the other day, and she's pretty much saying that this is like a textbook race strategy. Start off a little bit slow, kind of ease into it, get into marathon pace, and then just crank it the last 5K. Now, if I can translate this to the marathon distance and just make sure I can crank up the speed the last 10K of the race, that would be amazing. So that's the goal for going into London Marathon. We're gonna have to work on that a little bit more. I know I have some big workouts coming up soon, but yeah, this is a great race for me.